The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 6, gives me just what I need in a ratchet fix. Let's discuss. It's your boy Beasley here. Hope you all are staying cool, calm, and collected out there. I wanted to come at you guys today and talk to you about this current season of The Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, I haven't really talked about it on my channel because, for one, it just became like a guilty pleasure, just like light TV, nothing really serious going on, nothing to report on. And on top of that, I'm starting to grow a little bit tired of everything just being shade, mess, tea, shade. Like, it's just like... Okay, like, it's like every single housewife franchise starts off with elegance and class, well, at least they used to back in the day, but over time, they tend to evolve into, like, love and hip-hop light, and it's fun to watch at times, but sometimes it's just like, okay, like, words do hurt, and a lot of their words cut deep like a knife, and I can tell some of these cast members go home and cry at night. But regardless, I want to talk about each and every cast member and how I feel about them. So let's get into it, shall we? So let's talk about the first friend to the show, Escala, y'all, is a great addition to the show. She needs to be bumped up to a main cast member next season. I don't care what she has to do, what y'all have to do, make it happen, because Escala did not come to play. I mean, she comes in. She really came out of nowhere to me. Like, she was just like thrown onto my television screen. I didn't really see her introduction, but she comes in like she's been there day one. You know, she inserts herself in conversations that don't involve her, but she's able to have like great dialogue and great input. And she overall is probably like the most level-headed out of all the girls, and everything she says is always dotted with common sense. Like, everything she says makes sense to me. But yeah, she looks good, her fashions are great, her reads are good, and she overall is like the mini voice of reason that the show needs, so bump her up to main cast member next season. And then we get into the newbie, Mia Thornton. Now, y'all, I'm gonna extend her a little bit of grace, even though she's all over the place, but this is her first season, so I understand your first season on reality television, you're trying to find your ground, but so far, I don't really like Mia Thornton, and it's mainly because it's like, pick a side, girl. Like, what side are you on? Like, she shades people and befriends them at the same time. Like, she like shades Giselle and then sticks up for her. She shades other people on the cast and then ends up sticking up for them. And it's just like, you're not really making sense. And it's getting to a point where, like, it's like the old saying, like, if you're a friend to everybody, then you're a friend to no one. That is Mia Thornton. Mia Thornton, I feel like she doesn't really even know her own identity and who she wants to be. I mean, that explains the mass amounts of plastic surgery. But, like, I don't really get a bad vibe from Mia, but I just feel like she doesn't know herself. Like, I feel like Mia doesn't know herself, and she's trying to find herself on this show. Maybe she'll have a great showing next season, but right now, I can't take her. Like, I'm just like girl, bye. I also really wasn't feeling her, like, getting into Candace's business. Like, granted, it drove a good storyline, but it's like she dips her toe in trying to be like the shady person and get all of the tea and all that, but yeah, she dips out and like basically throws a rock and hide her hand. That's what she does. That's what Mia Thornton does. And she acts like she's surprised that Candace is coming for her. Like, Candace has every right to come for her, in my opinion. Like, Mia Thornton is just all over the place. Like I said, I'm willing to give her a second chance. Like, everybody deserves a second chance on reality television, so maybe she'll get it together next season. Getting into Miss Wendy, y'all. Miss Wendy did a whole entire 180, and I'm absolutely here for it. Now, granted, did she need all that plastic surgery? No. But I feel like she did it mainly for her confidence. Like, she saw herself season 1 and she wasn't really feeling herself. Now she's feeling herself and she's just like, you can't keep clothes on this girl. But I will say, in regards to Giselle and Robin, like, looking at her different, like, oh, this was not the Wendy we were introduced to, I see where Giselle and Robin were coming from. Now, a lot of people got on to Giselle and Robin for hating, which they kind of were hating to an extent. Yes, they were. But we have to remind ourselves that Wendy came on as like Miss Bookworm, like Miss 4 Degrees, Miss I'm highfalutin, I'm smarter than all you girls, I'm better than you. Like, she came off as one of those girls, like, she, in my opinion, was like Aisha Curry. Like, Aisha Curry, for example, was judging all the Instagram girls, like, judging girls for, like, like dressing kind of like provocative, and then Aisha Curry dropped some weight and you can't keep clothes on her. That's what Wendy's going through. And then on top of that, I feel like Wendy got all that surgery because she didn't want to be compared to OG from Basketball Wives. People got onto OG about her looks, and you can kind of tell down the line all these light-skinned girls on the show were going to get onto Wendy about her looks. And another reason why I haven't talked about this show, because there is a fine line of colorism going on. Now, y'all, at this point, I'm the colorism cop, but Wendy wanted to not have to go through the whole entire colorism issue, even though there is still an issue. She didn't want her looks to play into that. She didn't want to be judged negatively about her looks, and that's another reason why she got all that surgery. But I will say the surgery looks good. Wendy looks good as F. Like, she looks amazing. Like, she was pretty last season, but she is just dropped down, knocked down gorgeous this season. But that really feeds into, like, just everybody getting plastic surgery, y'all. Plastic surgery is the norm, y'all. Like, I work at Saks Fifth Avenue, and I see so many BBLs on a daily. It's just sickening. I'm getting tired of it. Like, Jesus, y'all. Like, get some self-esteem and get in the gym. But I'm on a tangent. Wendy, I mean, it's money well spent. She looks good. She got the right amount of tweaking done, so it is what it is. Call me a hypocrite if you want to, but she looks good. Like, Wendy looks good. Her getting Giselle together, I was completely here for. Like, Wendy did not come to play this season, and I want to see her for seasons to come. A lot of people did not want her to come back, but she made this comeback. She had a setback last season, and she turned into a great comeback. Like, Wendy, I commend you, girl. Now let's get into Candy Ass. Shout out to Color Me Pink. But y'all, Candace last season got on my nerves. Mainly because she was doing all this extra just because she got her ass beat. And in my humble opinion, she deserved it. Like, at some point, Candace, you got that mouth. Like, that mouth is... One thing I can give her, Candace's reads cut deep. Like, Candace can read all the way down. Like, nobody on this show reads as good as Candace does. Like, Candace, when it comes to that department, Candace has everybody beat. Candace is pretty and Candace is talented, so it's kind of hard to even read her back, even though you could read her about her living with her mom, but even though she's not really living off her mom anymore, so it's kind of hard to even read her about that. I mean, you could read her about her weave, I guess, but that's about it. That's a little late, but overall, Candace, I didn't like her last season because she was doing the most. However, this season, I think I am all the way here for Candace. Like, people got onto Candace about her getting onto Ashley about her wide body and her wide forehead. I'm sorry, I was here for Candace going in on Ashley. Like, I was here for that because Ashley's another one that continues to throw the rock and always hide her hand and always act like everything that she does, it just... Like, Ashley acts like everything that she does, every shady thing that she does against another person is justified, when in reality, like, people just have amnesia when it comes to her. Like, people, like, Ashley hid behind being pregnant, basically. Ashley hid behind being pregnant, and then she has Michael that kind of, like, is a hot mess overall, and then Mike, like, I'm gonna get into Ashley later. But y'all, I was here for Candace going in on Ashley. I'm here for Candace reading everybody, including Giselle, even though, once again, nobody comes for Giselle in person. They only come for her in her confessionals, except for Wendy. But Candace, like, I'm here for her. I listened to her album. It was good. It's pretty good. You guys should give it a try. I don't really know what else to say about Candace. Like, Candace, overall, I'm here for her. She, in my opinion, is becoming the MVP of this season. A lot of y'all may disagree. And I can understand why a lot of people don't like Candace, because Candace, overall, is a spoiled, petulant child. But I'm just liking Candace this season so far. Now, get into Ashley. Y'all, Ashley, I started to like last season, but I was quickly reminded, like, why I don't like her, because, like I said earlier, she throws the rock and hides her hand. She always expects people to apologize, but yet she could do very dirty, vile things to other people, and yet holds no form of accountability whatsoever. She has legit came for every single cast member on this show, yet nobody gets back at her. Like, nobody calls her out for anything. Nobody... It's like they have amnesia with Ashley. Like, everybody's just Ray Charles to her actions, and it really irks my nerves. And then bring it to her with Michael. her and Michael are a piss poor, just absolute terrible representation for this show. Now, I want you guys to drop down in the comments and answer this question. If Michael was a black man, a dark-skinned black man at that, do you think Ashley would still be on this show based on all of the antics that Michael has put on? Please let me know. But yo, Ashley is just a terrible individual. I feel like she also is jealous of Candace and looks down on Candace because, unlike Ashley, Candace was brought up in wealth. Ashley had to sleep with somebody for wealth. And on top of that, the wealth isn't showing. I think Ashley is just saving every coin that she has because she's not using that coin for her hair or her fashions. So, I mean, that's smart, girl. Save your money. But at the same time, the Real Housewives, you got to keep up appearances. And in that department, Ashley, you're severely lacking. I mean, Ashley, you're a pretty girl. She is pretty. I won't take that away from her. But she cannot dress to save her life, y'all. Like, she'd just be looking like a soccer mom. And maybe because she had the 2 babies recently, that's why she's just tired and doesn't really pour into herself because she's busy pouring into her kids. Who knows? Because Michael isn't. But, you know, I don't like Ashley. I just don't. Like, I was beginning to, like, she was slowly growing on me last season, but I was just reminded why I don't like her. Like, she just rests on being light-skinned and that light-skin privilege and her just not taking accountability for anything. Like, expecting everybody to apologize to her when she can't do the same. Ashley, bye. Getting into Miss Karen. Karen, the real queen bee of this show. I love Karen. But I will say my problem with Karen is that she just lies so much. Like, she lies a lot. Like, Karen, you were in your 50s. Like, why do you lie? Like, she lies about just little stuff. Like, it's like sickening, girl. But I will say I do like Karen and Giselle's back and forth. It's giving me like Nene and Kim 2.0, even though those two were never friends to begin with. But like Karen and Giselle, they only butt heads because both of them are trying to fight to be the queen bee of this show. That's really what it is. And to be honest with you guys, Karen is the queen bee. Like, she's the queen bee of Potomac. Like, the girls cannot take her. She's another girl that reads all the way down. And you can't really come for her because, like, she has her own business and own thing going on outside of Ray. Even though Ray is like her only storyline this season, them two getting married, remarried, renewing their vows, I might say, but there isn't really much to say about Karen this season. I mean, overall, like, she subtly shades Wendy about the whole entire candle line coming out, her having a 3-wick and Wendy having a 1-wick. I mean, that's going to lead to issues between those two down the line. I mean, I feel like it's another way for Karen to get a separate storyline as well going. But outside of her and Ray and then like the potential storyline between her and Wendy brewing, there really isn't much going on with Karen this season. I mean, she comes in, she serves a look, serves a read to Giselle, and then leaves. But overall, she's my favorite person on the show. Not being biased, just being honest. We get into Robin, y'all. Robin is so poor. I can't remember who said that, but I have just been dying laughing ever since. Like, I will never forget that phrase. You know, Robin, you know, to a lot of y'all surprised, I actually do like Robin. You know, Robin, she's very relatable. You know, Robin, she's a woman of wick. She's lower middle class. Like, Robin is relatable to all of the soccer moms across the United States of America. And out of all the girls, I feel like Robin really gives the most out of her storylines. Like, she talks about her depression. She talks about not being motivated. She talks about her, like, lacking, not really being there for her kids and, quote-unquote, being, like, a lackadaisical mother. She talks about her issues with Juan, even though, like, at this point, Robin, you and Juan, it's just like two homeboys that just so happen to be married. Like, there's just no love there. You guys just are committed with each other because, for one, neither one of y'all can survive off a single income, and then for two, you guys are like codependent of each other. Like, it's like y'all were raised together while y'all were in a relationship. Like, if you guys don't remember, Juan, like, Robin's family took Juan underneath their wings because Juan didn't have any family. So y'all were raised as brother and sister despite you guys being dating. And you guys just feel committed to each other without being really committed to each other. I mean, Robin is committed to Juan, but Juan just looks at her like, ugh. I feel like he's staying because he feels sorry for her, and that's just very sad. He has love for her, but he's not in love with her anymore. Like, love does not live in that household anymore. And I feel like if you two were to separate, you would both be blessed in different ways because you're both good people, but Robin, outside of Giselle, I feel like is a dope individual. I mean, even though I feel like Bravo keeps her around because they also feel sorry for her, and this is like a good, much needed income for her. The Hatline may be doing well, but you need the show to drive that Hatline and drive up sales. So I just feel like Robin. People would like and respect Robin more if she wasn't so far up Giselle's ass. Like Robin as a whole is a good person and good individual, but her playing sidekick to Giselle makes her come off as just a shitty human being. Let's keep it real. And then talking about Giselle, y'all, I don't like Giselle. I'm gonna just keep it real with you guys. I don't like her. I will say I did see some points with her against Wendy in the beginning of this season, but overall, Giselle's just a messy individual. And she's another person to throw the rock and hide their hand. Like, that's what the light-skinned girls do on this show. They throw the rock, hide their hand, and they expect the other person or the darker-skinned girl they're going against to apologize. Like, it's just a hot-ass mess with Giselle. And then on top of that, it's like she can come for any and everybody on this show, but somehow she's off limits. And then other cast members treat her like she's off limits. And I'm just like, is she like executive producer of this show on the low, like a Shawnee O'Neal T? Like, why is it that people don't really come for Giselle like she needs to be came for? Like, except for Wendy and Karen, it seems like, and it feels like the other girls are just like confessional gangsters when it comes to Giselle. They talk mess about her in the confessionals, but in person, they don't say how they really feel. I don't understand. And Giselle tries to be that girl, but she isn't. Because for one, she has no money whatsoever. Giselle, she's not broke, but she doesn't have the coin to be that girl. And it clearly shows in her fashions and also the decorations of that house. Now, it's cool that she owns a house. That's dope. She did it on her own. I give her props for that. But girl, the tacky ass furniture, the tacky ass decorations, I'm just like overall, the Potomac girls don't really give fashion. The only people that give fashion are Karen and Candace. Real talk, y'all, if y'all are from Houston, Texas, these girls remind me of like Cypress girls. Like, these girls, all of them just give Cypress, Texas. Like, if y'all are from Houston and know what Cypress is, I'm from Cypress. That's what the girls give. Cypress is very upper middle class, kind of like homey. Everybody's just chill. Like the fashion is not really there. Like, it's just upscale yet country at the same time. Like suburban country. That's what it is. And that's what the Potomac girls give for the most part. But Giselle, even though she has been looking slightly better, homegirl can't dress for shit whatsoever. Giselle can't read for shit. Giselle is the person that reads everybody, but she's an easy read herself. And she thinks that just because she has like a Vanessa Williams tee going on with the green hair and with the green eyes and the blonde hair, she feels like she could just escape on that and get away with everything when, girl, that's clearly not the case. Like, it's like when people come for her, she's like, oh my God, the audacity to come for me. Like, I'm the pretty one. You can't say anything about me. That's Giselle's mindset. And I just overall just don't vibe with Giselle. I do not like her. I'm a good judge of character, and I can tell outside of the show, she's just not a good person and does not have a good spirit. But I will say, to not completely bash her, I do enjoy her scenes with her daughters. Like, her daughters make her a likable individual. Especially when the oldest daughter, Grace, I will never forget that scene when she failed that driving test for the 5th time and the twin sisters were in the back laughing at her on the low. That shit was so hilarious to me. Like, I was dying laughing. Like, damn, girl, is driving really that hard? But regardless, y'all, Giselle, don't like her, like, whatever. But I will say she is good for the show, I guess. And that brings me to colorism. So, y'all, I'm pretty much at this point the self-proclaimed colorism cop. Like I said in the video, the light-skinned girls, they throw the rock, they hide their hand, and they expect the darker-skinned girl to, like, bend to the knee and apologize. Like, it's been a reoccurring theme with this show, and it's been very underlying. Like, it's like they don't want to go there, but the colorism on the show is there. Now, granted, Karen is light-skinned, and she does go against the girls, but however, I will never forget last season in the beginning, they kept trying to get Candace to apologize. Apologize to Ashley. Apologize to Ashley. When Ashley has never been made to apologize for anything that she's done against anybody. It's like they give Ashley a pass because she has the complexion for protection. And then on top of that, like, Robin and Giselle are able to do and say anything to these girls, and they are just like, they're surprised when people come back for them. They're surprised when people shade them, especially a Wendy and a Candace. Like, they're just overall just like, oh my God, wow, how dare you talk back to me? Like, we're in a hierarchy. Like, that's what they give. They may not be saying it, but cognitively, I see it, and a lot of other people see it. And that's the reason why, like, I just didn't really want to talk about this show, because it's just overall, even though it's like light entertainment, it does become draining when you see the colorism at play, especially when that whole entire debacle with the Basketball Wives took place. I feel like that has carried over to this show. Now, a lot of people haven't addressed it yet, but I feel like it's coming down the line. And I feel like over time, it's going to cause a divide within the cast in this show. Mark my words, probably towards the end of this season or next season, there's going to be a light skin versus dark skin alliance, and they're going to collide. I mean, they already have an alliance going on right now with Candace, Escala, and Wendy against Robin, Giselle, Ashley, and potentially Mia, who is a flip-flopper. But overall, The Real Housewives of Potomac is good garbage. It's good television, but I feel like we only like it because it's fresh and new. Because over time, they're going to follow the same fate as the other Housewife franchises, where they all rely on one storyline to drive the narrative the entire season. Because a lot of these girls individually right now don't have a storyline going on their own, except for maybe like Robin, Candace, Wendy, Karen to a very fine extent, and that's about it. And Mia has her own storyline going on with her mom, but overall, over time, it's going to be just like the other Housewife franchises, where they take one storyline and just drive it out through the entire season. They're going to be on season 7 next season, so time will tell. But overall, I feel like the Real Housewives franchises as a whole are going to hell. But these girls, they got a good thing going. They found their groove, and they're moving on up. But overall, I feel like they've eclipsed Atlanta as well at this point. Like, Atlanta is damn near on its last leg, and the Potomac Girls, they've taken the spot as the hit black reality show on Bravo. But time will tell if they can continue to hold that crown. But those are my views, so be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'm going to come at you guys with some more content.